she thought that she couldn't be held accountable, that she thought that she could tell investors anything, that she could tell institutions and financial agencies whatever she wanted to and not be held accountable. And that's just false.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're diving into 10 disturbing cases of true crime cons you won't soon forget.
And that's part of the con, the idea that you don't know how it really works.
NXIVM, sex cult, and fraud. At first glance, NXIVM looked like just another elite self-improvement program, but it hid something chilling underneath.
It sounds like a horror movie, what you're
describing.
It
was a horror movie. It was the most inhumane, horrific way to treat anybody.
Founded in 1998, the group promised personal growth through pricey executive success seminars. Behind the scenes, it slowly pulled members into a manipulative pyramid-style fraud. At the center was Keith Rainier, revered as Vanguard, who sold himself as a genius while secretly running a criminal operation.
NXIVM has its own lingo. Students are taught about overcoming disintegrations to become more potent and less suppressive, and avoiding people termed parasites or Luciferians.
The horror deepened when DOS, a far more covert subgroup, was uncovered. Presented as empowerment, it coerced women into sexual servitude, blackmailed them with personal collateral, starved them, and even branded them. Shockingly, Smallville actress Allison Mack helped recruit and control others. NXIVM's exposure revealed not enlightenment, but a deeply unsettling cult even true crime fans found terrifying.
This morning, vindication for victims of so-called sex cult leader Keith Raniere.
Keith Raniere will not be able to victimize people anymore after today's sentence, and we're very grateful for that.
The Hollywood con queen.
You know, these people thought this was their big break.
It was a dream job.
And it turned out to be their worst nightmare.
Imagine finally getting that call promising real Hollywood work, only to realize it's part of a long con. Known as the Hollywood Con Queen, this fraud targeted aspiring freelancers looking for honest work. Here's the kicker. The queen wasn't a woman at all, but a man. Hargobind Tahil Rahmani pulling the strings.
It turned out that who everyone thought was the Hollywood Con Queen was actually a man. And there was just one man who had been impersonating all of these people.
From around 2013 to 2020, he impersonated powerful industry executives with frightening accuracy, convincing victims they'd landed lucrative film gigs. Victims were flown to Indonesia at their own expense. Then their savings were drained by fake fees, endless delays, and false reimbursements. The creep factor skyrocketed as victims reported sexual harassment, humiliating auditions, and even violent threats. By the time the illusion shattered, many were broke, traumatized, and robbed of their Hollywood dreams.
I'll give you my word, it will be solved by Wednesday next week.
She'd promised the money and that never turned up, obviously. And it's such a weird crime because it's a story of someone who just picks on your hopes and dreams and then leaves them for dust.
Belle Gibson's cancer con.
She said she was a sick young mum who found her salvation in wholesome foods and natural therapies.
Cons are already bad enough, but exploiting the sick and desperate? That's downright cold-blooded. In the early 2010s, Australian wellness fraudster Belle Gibson masterminded a con that left victims betrayed, misled, and irreparably heartbroken. She claimed she'd survived terminal brain cancer through diet and alternative therapy. She then built an online empire with the Whole Pantry app, a best-selling cookbook, and thousands of Instagram followers, all while promising hefty charity donations.
Along with the Schwartz family, there have been a number of charities Belle has pledged money to, which have not seen a cent.
Gibson barely delivered and even infiltrated cancer support groups, offering false hope, sometimes leading people to delay real treatments. Exposed in 2015, she admitted her story was fabricated, yet has evaded full accountability. Was it worth it? Definitely not. Her victims still carry the weight of her deception while she walks free.
While she concedes she might have caused damage to others, extraordinarily, Belle maintains she's the real victim here.
Mrs. Doubtfire scandal. People will do almost anything to keep a scam going, but some lines should never be crossed. In 2025, Italian authorities uncovered a pension fraud so grotesque it felt unreal.
Well, a modern-day Mrs. Doubtfire with a macabre twist. The city of Mantua in Italy's north is making headlines after an elaborate pension fraud was exposed. A man caught dressing up as his dead mother.
A 56-year-old man near Mantua concealed his mother's natural death for years, hiding her mummified body while collecting her pension and property income. When her ID expired, he took things even further, dressing as her in public with makeup, jewelry, and a cane to renew it in person.
The little old lady is in fact a man, pretending to be his mother. That's Graziella Dell'Oglio on the left. She died 3 years ago. On the right, her son, who dressed up as his mother and went on to pocket thousands before pension staff woke up to the ruse.
A clerk noticed the voice was off, and the truth unraveled fast. The media dubbed it the Mrs. Doubtfire scandal, though there was nothing funny about it. Faking paperwork is one thing, but refusing to bury your own mother for money, that's deeply disturbing.
He still pocketed around $90,000 playing dress-up before he was discovered.
Anna Delvey's fraud.
Her name is Anna Delvey, or Anna Sorokin, no one's sure. She's either a mega-rich German heiress or she's flat broke, and maybe she's Russian.
Vivian,
that's the point, no one knows.
Fake it till you make it has been taken to an audacious link with Anna Sorokin's fraud, better known as Anna Delvey. She posed as a German heiress with an over 60 million euro trust fund, infiltrating New York's elite and living a life of luxury.
I'm not this person who is like trying to trick her way into stuff. Like, I just asked them and they either said yes or no.
She scammed over $200,000 through unpaid hotels, bad checks, and stiffing friends. Even Rachel Deloche Williams wasn't spared. Anna famously left her with a $62,000 private jet bill, manipulating emotions, borrowing thousands, and falsifying bank statements to fool even Citibank. She turned charm into crime. Arrested in 2017 and convicted in 2019, her story inspired Netflix's Inventing Anna, allowing her to monetize her notoriety. The creepiest part, Anna weaponized her winning personality to manipulate everyone around her.
I mean, you sold the story and they bought it. Hook, line, and sinker.
I mean, because the story was true. It wasn't that hard.
The Theranos fraud.
Every time you create something new, there should be questions.
When do you draw the line between chasing profits and endangering lives? It's a question that haunts the Theranos saga. Founded in 2003 by the 19-year-old Stanford dropout Elizabeth Holmes, the company promised revolutionary blood tests from a single finger prick. With a messianic persona, she charmed investors, raising over $700 million and valuing Theranos at $9 billion. But behind the hype, the Edison machines were dangerously inaccurate, delivering flawed results for critical tests like HIV and cancer markers.
When I was there, we could not complete any test accurately on the devices that we were manufacturing.
Walgreens rolled them out, and unsuspecting patients faced misdiagnoses, delayed treatments, and real harm. Exposed in 2015, Holmes was convicted and sentenced to over 11 years. The Theranos saga serves as a cautionary tale to the public to scrutinize every health technology we trust.
You're also lying to the public, you're lying to patients, you're lying to doctors, you're lying to regulators. Most people would call that fraud as well.
H.H. Holmes' murder castle.
That man is Herman Webster Mudgett, known to the world as a notorious killer, H.H. Holmes.
Terrifying doesn't even begin to describe the horror H.H. Holmes committed. Born Herman Webster Mudgett, he wasn't just a murderer, he was a con artist who turned fraud into a weapon. In the 1880s, Holmes arrived in Chicago and built what became known as the Murder Castle. He financed it through forged documents, shady loans, and unpaid contractors. He seduced victims into bogus marriages, convincing them to buy life insurance, naming him the beneficiary, before making them disappear.
There's a secret staircase that appears at the end of a hallway to nowhere. A windowless room completely lined with asbestos to muffle sound, several secret chambers, and a vault which locks from the outside.
He also murdered his accomplice, Benjamin Pitezel, for a $10,000 insurance payout. In 1894, investigators unraveled everything, and Holmes was executed in 1896. Holmes' story was largely sensationalized, but his name still echoes as a symbol of fraud and calculated evil.
With all eyes on the spectacle, no eyes are on him or the increasing list of missing women.
Bernie Madoff's Ponzi scheme. Ponzi schemes were already infamous. Then Bernie Madoff took the concept to an unimaginable extreme. As a seasoned Wall Street insider and former NASDAQ chairman, Madoff promised steady returns year after year, no matter how chaotic the market got.
As we know, that markets go up and down, and his only went up. He had very few down months. Only 4% of the months were down months. And that would be equivalent to a baseball player in the major leagues batting .960 for a year. Clearly impossible. You would suspect cheating immediately.
Maybe he was just good.
No one's that good.
This should have been the first red flag, but he was no back alley hustler, so people trusted him blindly. Behind the polished statements, there were no real trades. He simply recycled new investors' money to pay old ones. On paper, the scheme ballooned to $65 billion, while roughly $20 billion in real savings vanished.
And I think probably the thing that tears me up more than anything is the fact that I recommended Madoff to a number of people.
Charities collapsed, retirees lost everything, and families were shattered. When it finally imploded in 2008, Madoff got 150 years in prison. All we can say is this: be careful who manages your finances.
You know, I knew absolutely nothing about this before my father shared the information with me, and it was the most shocking and terrible moment of my life.
The Tinder Swindler, Shimon Hayut.
The Tinder Swindler has found himself in more legal trouble. Nearly 3 years after Shimon Hayut was the center of Netflix's Tinder Swindler documentary, the convicted con artist was arrested on September 14th over accusations of fraud.
When the Tinder Swindler story first broke, almost everyone thought it was fiction. Then the horrifying truth hit. Shimon Hayut, who changed his name to Simon Leviev to pose as the heir to a diamond fortune, was scamming women through romance. He dazzled victims with private jets, luxury hotels, and Michelin-star dinners, all funded by money stolen from the previous victims.
It showed how he would meet beautiful women on the dating app Tinder and woo them with his lavish lifestyle. These 3 women said he bilked them out of a combined $500,000.
He'd first declare love, then stage terrifying mafia threats with brutal photos to pressure women into wiring cash or taking out loans. From 2017 to 2019, he raked in an estimated $10 million, with Cecilia Fjellhoy alone losing over $250,000. Exposed by journalists and the 2022 Netflix documentary, Hayut served time briefly. But what's more heartbreaking, he's still monetizing his fame while victims struggle to recover.
If I was guilty, I will be in prison.
So you're saying that Cecilia and all of the other women who have said this about you are lying?
You know, if you have a very successful restaurant, you can have some 2-3 unhappy customers. I haven't took money from them whatsoever.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into settings and switch on your notifications. Amanda Riley's fake cancer con. It's bizarre enough to fake a life-threatening illness for sympathy, but it gets downright creepy when you solicit funds for treatments. That didn't stop Amanda Riley, branded Scamanda, a San Jose mom who spent 2012 to 2019 pretending to battle cancer.
She started a blog. It blew up pretty quickly. Amanda was the symbol of hope in the church.
She spun stories on her blog, chronicling fake chemo sessions, hospital stays, and near-death scares. She convinced friends, strangers, and online communities by shaving her head, posing beside oxygen tanks, and staging IVs and bruises. Donors gave over $105,000, funding vacations, home improvements, and daily luxuries.
There was no reason for us to doubt that she was telling the truth.
Riley even stalked real cancer support groups and enlisted family to corroborate her lies. Sentenced in 2022 and now on probation, her scam made it much harder for real patients to get donations they truly needed.
She has told me that she is deeply regretful and wanted to serve her time.
Which of these true crime cases is the creepiest? Let us know in the comments section.